Hello everybody, Kemo Sabi here, coming at you with another video. So this one's off of Forbes webpage. A write-up by Priya, Shukla, a contributor. And there's also saying opinions expressed by Forbes contributors are their own. It was published December 12th, 2018, a little bit later on, but still interesting, of 9 a.m. with the topic of the shellfish consumes billions of tiny plastic pieces in a matter of hours. Nanoplastics are a class of incredibly small microplastics that can result from microplastic production and or plastic degradation in the natural environment, often from ultraviolet light. To give you a sense of scale, 1 micrometer is 1,000 nanometers and 1 meter is 1 billion nanometers. Because of this incredibly small size, nanoplastics are a particularly nefarious source of environmental pollution that can be difficult to detect. As a result, many laboratory studies concerning nanoplastic pollution in the oceans are often use higher concentrations of nanoplastics than what occurs in the natural environment. In a recent study, authors used a novel technique to trace nanoplastics occurring in environmentally realistic concentrations within a popular seafood item, a shellfish known as a scallop. We made nanoparticles of plastic in our laboratories and incorporated a label so that we could trace the particles in the body of the scallop at environmentally relevant concentrations, said lead researcher Dr. Maya L. Sidchiach, postdoctoral fellow at the University of Plymouth. After exposing the scallops to nanoparticles for 6 hours, the researchers used autoradiography to locate the nanoparticles within the scallops. They found billions of larger nanoparticles, 250 nanometers in size, within the scallop's intestines and smaller nanoparticles, 20 nanometers in size, distributed across the scallop's gills, muscles, and kidneys. According to Dr. Al-Sidchiach, the results of the study show for the first time that nanoparticles can rapidly be taken up by a marine organism, and that just a few hours they become distributed across most of the major organs. Although the scallops were exposed to nanoparticles for only a few hours before being transferred to seawater free of nanoparticles, and the smaller particles disappeared after 2 weeks, the larger particles stayed within the scallops for nearly 7 weeks. So the smaller ones were gone in 2 weeks, but the larger ones stayed like a very, very long time, nearly a couple months. We are starting to realize that nanoplastics might represent environmental and human health hazards. However, the extent of the risks such hazards might impose remain largely unknown, says Dr. Abel de Silva Machado, a research scientist studying the accumulation of nanoplastics in plants at the Institute of Biology, Freie Universität Berlin. Dr. Machado's recent research has shown that plants can absorb nanoparticles as high enough concentrations to be considered toxic. While this study is the first to document how nanoplastics are realistically accumulated in scallops, it is still unclear how these patterns may change if scallops endure repeated or prolonged exposures to nanoplastics. Furthermore, further work also must be done on how nanoplastic accumulation within scallops might affect seafood consumers. In 2016, 335 million metric tons of plastic was produced, and nearly half of that plastic was intended for being used only once, called single-use plastics. Scientists believe that there are approximately 51 trillion microplastic shards before further degrading into even teenier nanoplastics floating around the oceans. Mitigating nanoplastic pollution requires many of the same actions as preventing other forms of plastic pollution, namely reducing the amount of bulk plastic being released into the environment or being used in outdoor applications, says Dr. Natalie Tufenkajay, professor and Canada Research Chair at McGill University. Thus, we grapple with the effects of nanoplastics on the ocean, environment, and seafood. It may be equally important to stem the tide of plastics flowing into our oceans from around the world. Hopefully you enjoyed the write-up, everybody. It'd be awesome if you subscribed, and great if you leave me some comments. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Thanks. Bye.